Hey guys, Josh RV Nerd here at Bishs RV, and I am loving all the new things that I'm getting to see and put my hands on and experience. And one that kind of caught my eye just now was this Zinger over here. Like, you've seen us have a lot of big, flashy, fancy, laminated stuff. But what about people like me? What about Larry Lunchbucket and Jane Sixpack, who, you know, punch a clock for a living or whatever? This is something that's really kind of more my personal speed. Not only does it have a really good look outside, the floor plan is dynamite. And I'm gonna say this 100 times through this video, I'm sure. It's the same basic concept as a like a 273 Salem or Wildwood, a 293 Catalina. There's some other people who make like a private L bunkhouse like this. And they all do it a little bit differently. There's a couple little gizmos and gadgets and features on this that really stood out at me though. Like the taller ceiling I thought was really, really nice. Also, there's a thing going on with the dining table in here that you just gotta, I don't even know if I can properly describe it, you just gotta see it, but if you really love the idea of wrapping the whole family around the table, take a look at this. There's also little things like what they're doing with their sofa storage that are just awesome. The idea behind this camper is like, I want totally private sleeping. I don't want the kids like having a bed in the living room. I want them, I just want to be like, go to your room, and I want them to have, you know, a room to go to. The other cool thing with this is gonna sound weird, but it's a quad bunk that can sleep 5 kids, potentially, littles, admittedly, but it's possible. And I'm gonna show you how that's the case over here. As we go, I'd love to hear some feedback from you, what you think about this, and I will leave links in the description to check out other similar floor plans. And if you like seeing all the new stuff, if you want to catch the next one that's coming, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So once again, just because you've seen something like this before, doesn't mean that you've seen something exactly like this before. They all have their own little unique features and doodads. So why would you go with the Zinger instead of a Salem or a Wildwood or a Catalina or the other people that make a layout like this? That's what I want to focus on. And by the way, if you're not in love with the Labatt blue light, you don't have to use it. You can turn that off and on if you want to. I still do not understand the RV industry's affinity for blue lighting just slathered all over the inside of campers, but to each their own, as it were. Like I said, every camper has its own little tricks and doodads, and I want to show you a couple of really neat ones right here in the living room of this thing. So it's a jackknife storage sofa. Okay, it's got a folding armrest. Big deal. You've seen that before. But what if someone's sitting at the sofa and you don't want to have to, you know, tell them, get up, get out of the way, I gotta grab stuff. You don't have to jackknife the sofa. The bottom of it lifts up where you can get to that stuff more easily. That is awesome. Little, like, say, Monopoly storage or tote storage under here. That's cool. And, like, if you've seen a Dinette, you've seen them all, right? Take a look at the table setup on this. So that is what I call a true Dinette. It's a nice, big dinette, but if we get a little bit closer here, what they've done is they kind of did something sort of like those dinette face-mounted tables. But the problem with those, if you want to push down on it to get yourself up, you're going to break it. So they added an extra little leg right here. But then I got looking a little bit closer, and I went, wait a minute, what is that knob for? And I started playing with it, and thankfully, without breaking it, which wasn't hard, I figured out something really cool on this one. It flips around! You can flip this thing. So in a way, you can kind of use it a little bit more like a 2-bench dinette, or what if you're a little thicker in the midsection like yours truly? Well, I don't know if you've ever been in a lot of campers, but I've seen so many people, they get into a normal dinette with the posts, and they're always like scooting and toe tapping and trying to get their way through there. It's never fun, it's never convenient. But with all the space on this one, it's just wide open, it's a lot more organic. And again, I'm not the biggest dude, but people of all shapes and sizes go camping. There's, you know, plenty of, say, fluffier people out there who like, man, I can't handle a booth because I don't fit. You can fit here, is what's really nice. Or, you don't have to necessarily be a bigger person just to like this. The fact is, like, you kind of, if you take these rear cushions off, by the way, you could probably still fit one of the littles back here, but, you could add a couple chairs around this, like a stool, one of those small little floating stools, put them under the sofa, lift the foot of the sofa up, slide them out, get the whole family around this thing, have a nice little, you know, family Monopoly thing. And because you can't just flip the table, you don't got to worry about all the pieces and parts flying over the floor. At least at my family's household, you know that you won when your brother flips the Monopoly table and your mom goes, "That's it, put it away." But just like the sofa, you got easy access storage to the dinette, at least on the front sides. But, you know, when you have the table, I think I might just leave the table turned like this. I'm kind of liking it. You do have storage in the rear bench. You do have to pull everything out of the way to get to it, but at least it is still there, which is kind of nice. As long as we're looking at storage, let's go ahead and start panning our way around. Our pantry is kind of over here, sort of in a hallway, in a sense, across from the bathroom area. It could also be partially repurposed a little bit as, say, some overflow bunk storage. Now, Zinger, I believe, just like almost everybody else at this point, gives us the option for a 12-volt DC compressor fridge. What we are looking at here is the other swaption, as it were, the 8 cubic foot gas electric two-way absorption fridge. A little bit more boondocking friendly. I'm currently recording this out kind of in the sort of mountains area around the, past the Rockies out in Idaho. And out here, a lot of people still prefer that two-way fridge. So keep in mind, this is just an example of one Zinger 290 that we have, not necessarily the way that every single one of them that we have across the entire Bishs organization might look. Notice that blue light went off there. Remember, those accents can be turned off. So what I was getting at is, if you like what you see here, you want to see, okay, well, how is one actually equipped, near me? Check the link in the video description. You can always check equipment, pricing, availability, all of that right there. Now, this floor plan is definitely made to give us, maximum sleeping, because it's a quad bunk that can sleep 5 in the bunkhouse, and we're going to get back. I probably should have started in the bunk room, no? That would make a lot of sense. TV can pivot around. It's definitely not made with, TV viewing being the primary focus here. That is a big, big TV, though, when you want it. Got the, oh gosh, I blanked. Soundbar, that's the name of that object, idiot. Above the electric space heating fireplace right there. If I'm being picky about the only other thing I'd like, you see how you could have, that fireplace could have been shifted up just a little bit, and then make an open shoe garage down below that? To me, that would make an awful lot of sense in this thing, wouldn't it? Now you see that big yellow thing hanging down right there? It says this unit is wired for solar. These are all pre-prepped for solar. One of the cool things that they offer here is a solar package that has a bit of a surprise. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit. They're optional. I don't remember the name of their, because these manufacturers, they all have some cute name for their solar package, like Blazing Sun Package or something like that, But theirs is a 190 watt roof solar panel. Obviously the charge controller to go with it. Also, a 2,000 watt inverter. And I want to mention that. Here's a good one. Anywhere that you see one of these yellow stickers on an outlet, that is pre-wired to the inverter run. So even if you wanted to add solar and inverter after the fact, you could still upfit this RV to catch that. Now, I am notorious. If I skip the bathroom, I forget it. I'm going to try to not do that, but frankly, folks, no promises. Because like I said, I probably should have started back here in this bunk room. It is a very popular layout. Like I said, I believe I said this in the intro, if not, I meant to. This layout is very similar to a Salem or Wildwood 273. It's very similar to a Catalina 293. And if you don't know what any of that means, check the links in the video description. Guess what, Carol Baskin? I got full videos on those suckers too. Because what this is giving us is a like a full private room, kind of like one of those even larger 2-slide bunk rooms. But hear me out. So on a rainy day or when it's late at night and you're like, kids, go to your room. What's kind of cool about this is they have their own little sofa space. Now, did you see me duck when I sat down here? Am I ducking right now? No. This is nicely sized. So it doesn't even have to be little kids. What is really, really cool about this is not only, like I said, it's a quad bunk that could sleep 5, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But think about this long bed above us right now. Actually, I should shield that light from my forehead so it doesn't blind you, right? Anyway,
that's like an 8-foot bed. This is something not good for just kids, but it's something where if you have a big kid or an adult, and these are 300-pound rated, by the way. So what am I talking about with all the sleeping space, and why was there an extra bunk mattress up there? Well, you can obviously see the 2 double bunks that we looked at, the 2 that are over on the door side. This is that big long bed over there. Got you a little look at the entertainment center. But that sofa can fold down. But where'd that extra mattress go? Well, that is intended to be a trundle mattress, basically a bonus bed that can slide out from under the sofa. We've just had a lot of people walking through. I didn't want a lot of people stepping on it, so we just kind of put it up out of the way. So it can be an extra living room. It can be a bunk space. It could be a little entertainment center, man cave, lady cave, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. What would you call this back here? And as an added bonus, we have a built-in ladder so you don't have to heave-ho the kids into the upper bunks, because you probably threw out your rotator cuff fighting off that gas station murder hobo on your last trip, yes sir. Now, I've never seen an RV that every single person agrees on. Some people like floor vents, some people don't. Some people like how the big windows open for airflow. Some people might dislike the fact that the side windows don't open for airflow. Frankly, I don't know of anyone who's like, I would specifically like windows that don't open for airflow. Although, my smart aleck viewers, now that I've said that, someone is probably very inclined to say it. Now, if you weren't aware, CrossRoads is a subsidiary of Keystone. So as a result, they share a lot of things. Like the structure, the engineering of this is effectively the same as a hideout in Springdale. But they have their own different designs. One of the things that they still use, though, is that blade ducting system. What it does is it sucks more air out of the ducting into the living room more quietly to help keep you cooler. No window in the entry door. The windows on the side of the slide don't open. Again, nothing's perfect. It is also important, I think, to acknowledge this RV is built with a bit of a specific price tag in mind. Now, up front here, the way that they, kind of did the bedspread and the way the lines were reading to me, I thought it might be a true queen. I busted out the tape measure. I did verify this is a camp queen. And I hope you appreciate the fact that we point out stuff like that, things that people may not always necessarily love. Now, a lot of times when you have the closets that hang down, there's a little bit of a sharp point there. At least they are using a radius board on that corner. And, I mean, it is awful tall above that side stand right there. So this side has households and USBs. But did you notice how that side of the bed over there has another one of those inverted outlet systems? Depending on the floor plan you're looking at in a given Zinger, you're going to find anywhere from 5 to 7 of those inverter prepped outlets. And I think we got it. Let's check out the road mode. But before I do that, I'm looking at this and I'm doing the math and I'm realizing real quick, you should probably twist that table back around. Now, I think my suspicion was right, because that table overlaps with the bed area, or the bath area a little bit. Now, you can gingerly toe tap around here. You want to be very careful when you're stepping into the front side of a slide out like that. And then I noticed when you get back here, this floor plan, the way that it works out, because you have the space here, you have a choice. When you travel, if you leave the bathroom door closed, you're going to be able to get to the bunk room. Alternatively, if you leave the bathroom door open before you close the slide, you're going to lose the bunks, but you'll be able to get to the bathroom. Just keep in mind, if you do that, if you leave that door open, you need to tie it down, bungee strap it, put a door stop on it or something like that. But a lot of times when you have a private room like this, you will just lose everything past the slide. So at least you have a choice of one or the other. Depending on how you like to camp, that might work for you. And one of the other things to consider on this is that this camper does run on a rack and pinion slide system. And by the way, walking backwards around that island, or that peninsula, not exactly easy. One of the cool benefits of a rack and pinion slide is that if you only want to open it partially, it makes it so that if you need to get back to the bunks, if you need to get back to the bathroom, you can still do both. You can do either. You just got to make sure you leave some space like that. Now, if you are partially deploying the slide, again, don't gather the whole family around the dinette and stuff like that. The slide floor is only properly supported when it is fully extended. Little pro tip for you there from your Uncle Josh, and I hope you appreciate the extra info.
Historically, when someone said Zinger, in my head, I didn't picture anything that had kind of any significant curb appeal to it. That's got a good look. And that is the big Zinger versus the Zinger Light like you're seeing over here. Like you can see there's some obvious differences. This is bigger, heavier, more expensive, but also carries a little more razzmatazz, as it were, with the fancy pants and the shiny shoes. But let's talk towing real quick. This thing, dry, empty before cargo, weighs in just under 7,000 pounds. And it does have a fairly decent length. So I do feel it's important to mention, you know, a lot of people want to go, ooh, is it half-ton towable? It's only got one slide. Well, that is really going to depend, I think, on the half-ton in question and your comfort levels as a driver. I think a lot of people, to that question, and I would like you to sound off in the comment section, but I think a lot of people are going to say, no, that much weight, that much size, there's no way I'd handle it on a half-ton. And I think you're going to see just as many people say, oh, I've got one just that size or bigger, and I haul it on a half-ton all over Timbuktu, no problem. That's just one of those things where it really varies, I think, from person to person. Me, personally, I feel like between the size and the weight, it is starting to push those bounds. But I just kind of, I want to tip you off to the fact that you really need to investigate specific trucks. Nice protected underbelly here. And as long as we're down here, one of the other nice things is that since basically all the plumbing stuff is in the back of the camper, it can have just a single, sewer exhaust point. Now, over here, you see that we've got the power corner stabilizer jacks in this, so, you know, getting her kind of stable at your campsites, just push button easy. Backup camera ready here. Oh, I'm backing up. I'm walking blind. I'm so sorry. I'm like smashing into people over here. Of course, my wife will tell you I'm not the most observant, and I couldn't even tell you what color shirt she was wearing when she said that. This also has a little mini camp kitchen. There's, interestingly, like 2 water sources here available, which I thought was kind of funny. Anyway, it is a wider but a low-profile camp kitchen, and what that's doing is that's giving us that extra bunk on the inside. You know, and it's simple, just a little 2-burner cooktop, but with a propane connect down below, you could certainly bring along whatever grill or anything you'd prefer. This is a dog dish style sink. It's not the, what I want to say, like plumbed sink. So again, kind of keep that in mind. We got Dad's little medicine cabinet out here, but right next to that, we have a hot-cold utility shower. So that if you want to kind of hose the kids off, if they've been swimming in the lake, they're not going to bring the lake smells in with you. Now, I will say one thing. With this being a stick and tin trailer, they could put those outside speakers wherever they want. Zinger folks, if you're watching this, and the people watching this also, please comment to support this if you truly feel this way. Those speakers everyone would be a lot happier if those speakers were down lower. And I think the comments are going to help support that. One other thing I want to show you here, not just the stable steps, but you got yourself a little dog leash latch, but also our handy little puppy paw. Well, that is a barley pop opener. Yes, sir. Well, looks like I got out of there just in time. She appears to be pretty darn popular. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Let me know what you think. And what are you thinking about the Zingers we've been showing you? I've had a couple now. Is this something you'd like to see more of? Is this a brand that you could do without? I can't possibly cover everything that Bishs carries, so I'm really letting you folks help direct and guide our channel. You guide me, and I'll do my best to show you through these things as we go. So hit that subscribe button, catch us on the next one, let me know where I should go next and what I should cover next. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.